Hello, Hugh Sung here from A Musical Life Mastermind. A little while ago, I posted an interesting infographic that read musicians train 2 times more than doctors, but earn 95% less. Find a better future. And of course, I have the logo for my new website, A Musical Life Mastermind. It was interesting, got a lot of reactions on Facebook, on Instagram, and a lot of the reactions were of despair, frankly. Of course, I didn't mean anything disparaging against doctors. I think doctors are absolutely wonderful and well deserve the income they're getting. I just found it very interesting that based on a recent report by the American Association of University Professors, they found that more and more universities are following a very disturbing trend where they are hiring more adjunct professors, paying them a lot less. They're not full-time, they're just part-time professors, so they can pay them a whole lot less. In fact, the pay that a lot of these adjuncts are getting are less than a livable wage, about 16,000 a year or so. And so this is just one trend that we're seeing in institutions. And a lot of musicians, when they're graduating from their studies, they're trying to get university jobs to teach in colleges. But we're starting to see that even if you get that job, you're not going to get paid very much. Most likely, it's getting more and more difficult to get tenured positions. Orchestras, of course, are very difficult to get into to begin with, and those jobs are shrinking as well. And there's pressures all around, and there seems to be an atmosphere of despair that followed with that top paragraph. And in fact, one person even mentioned, find a better future. If you need to make an income, don't become a full-time professional musician unless are a drummer or rock musician. The jobs are no longer there. I know a 40-year professional conservatory graduate. Times have changed. Go part-time and find a day job that you can stand. And so is that our future as musicians? Are we just stuck with jobs that are paying less and less, diminishing job markets, fewer positions out there? Are we just left to the whims of the institutions, the schools or orchestras that are hiring? Well, let me just back up a little bit and talk about different types of income. Now, the most traditional type of income that the vast majority of musicians are trained to go after is something called linear income. What is linear income? Linear income is simply you put in 1 hour of work and then you get paid for that 1 hour that you put in. So if I'm teaching a lesson, I maybe teach a 1 hour lesson and I get paid for that 1 hour lesson. If I'm in an orchestra, I put in 1 hour for a rehearsal, 1 hour for a concert, and then I get paid for those services. If I don't put in the work, I don't get paid. Any gigs, even teaching positions, your salary is really the payment that you put in terms of the time you put in for teaching. And with a lot of these adjunct positions, they get paid by the hour, so to speak, or they're expected to work a certain number of hours for that pay. So it's linear income. You work, you get paid. It's a direct relationship, right? And that's really what most musicians are accustomed to going after. That's most of the jobs that are described for musicians. However, I wanted to really draw attention to some new ways of making money. These are actually not new, but they're new for musicians because we're not trained to really think in these terms. And what I mean is passive income. So what exactly is passive income? Well, quite simply, for 1 hour of work, I create a product. And that product then continues to sell even if I'm not working. Does that make sense? I put in 1 hour of work, I create a product, and then through different sales channels, that product can be sold and generate income, even though I'm not spending any more time making that product. I only make it one time, and then it continues to make money for me passively. That's an example of passive income. So the most traditional form of passive income, of course, is recording, making records. But as we know, the record industry is not doing very well. So the old traditional CDs are really not making money anymore. People are getting used to getting their music for free off of YouTube or now the streaming services, which you just pay a small monthly fee. You can listen to millions and millions of songs, which translates into just pennies for the musicians that have contributed so much time and effort to creating those musical tracks that people enjoy. So does that mean that the old-fashioned records where you make a recording and you hope it sells, and the more it sells, the more money you make, even though you're not actively in the store selling it yourself, is that model dead? Well, not necessarily. There are new types of products that musicians should start to consider, a new type of product models. Let me go through just a couple of them with you, just to spark your imagination. One would be books. And books could also be translated as sheet music. So you create some sheet music. You can have that sold in an online store. And in fact, it's easier than ever to set up a website, set up a web store, and if people like your music, they can go to your website, buy the music, download it instantly, and then you get the money. Or perhaps you create a book, a lesson book, a course of some sort. Maybe you create a course on a particular way to learn an instrument, or even how to teach more effectively, or any number of subjects related to what you know as a musician. You can sell courses either as physical books, PDFs, or even as active dynamic online courses where people can take quizzes, they can get tested, and this can be done all automatically without your intervention. You just spend the time creating it, and then the course can be set up to simply generate income for people who buy and participate, and they can just have this done all automatically. Another model is subscriptions, creating subscriptions where people pay on a regular basis. They pay for a membership, say, to your site, and in exchange for that membership, they can get access to perhaps your whole library of recordings or private videos, or again, more coursework or other instructional things or content that you create as a musician, but you only make it available for people who pay an ongoing subscription for information or art that you create. So those are some models, and a couple more that you may not be aware of that are also interesting to explore. Licensing. Composers are probably going to be much more familiar with this, with BMI and ASCAP. You create a piece of music, you spend your time to make that music, and then you register it to be licensed through one of these licensing agencies. And then if anybody else performs that around the world, the licensing agencies will make sure that you get a cut, a royalty cut. Yeah. But there are new types of licenses that are really exciting, especially in the television and film industries, TV in particular, for filmmakers who are looking for backing tracks for their movies, their documentaries, for TV shows that are looking for filler music or commercials. You can compose different types of music, submit them to licensing libraries, and you may not even know who's picking up your work, but suddenly you get a check because some TV show has picked up that little snippet because it happens to match the mood of a scene that they needed music for. It's a very exciting and can be very lucrative if you are prolific in the types of music that you can write and produce, and the licensing itself can lead to some very interesting work opportunities. In fact, I'm going to be presenting some episodes on my podcast, A Musical Life, on a composer who specializes in that and has been able to generate a very good livable income from his work creating licensed content, licensed music that has actually led to him breaking into the film industry. Very, very cool stuff. Another fascinating way to make money is as an affiliate. What is an affiliate? An affiliate is where you actually don't even have to create the product. Somebody else makes the product, but if you like it and if it's something that you use and that you can recommend, you can send customers to the person who made the product, and in exchange for sending that person to the creator, you can get a small percentage of the sale. And it really depends on what kind of affiliate work you're getting into. Amazon, for example, is perhaps one of the largest affiliate programs, and most of these affiliate programs are absolutely free. You just simply sign up, register, put in your banking information, and then you can get these coded links. So let's say you have a particular CD that you think is absolutely fantastic that somebody else has recorded. You can actually have that linked on your site, or you can email the link to a friend, and if somebody goes out and buys that recording, you get kind of a small percentage. But there are other affiliate programs that pay far, far more than Amazon. Music, to be honest, doesn't sell very well because people are used to getting music for free, but there are other products that you could become an affiliate for: software or software services or other large equipment, perhaps. Um, High-end audio equipment, high-end video equipment, things of that nature, or even other courses that people have put together. But if you help spread the word and it's something that you really believe in, many times they'll give a much more generous commission for each person that signs up for their course or program or buys their product. And the more you can refer, the more you make. So again, that's something that you could set up on a website, put the links there. That's it. And you actually haven't spent nearly as much time or the creative effort to create the original product, but because of, if you really believe that it's something that could benefit other people, you can benefit in a small way passively by receiving small commissions of what you recommend. And of course, another way to do this is to become an agency. Rather than you going out and performing 10 gigs to get 10 different sources of income, you could perhaps become an agency where you work with other musicians, and in exchange for them performing, you get the work for them, and then you get a small commission. It's like being a manager. It's like being a presenter. And again, it's another model where you leverage your network of friends that you may know who are talented and whose work you believe in. This is kind of similar to the affiliate program, but you simply, your job is then to get the work and then organize everything, get the logistics together, and then they do the work for you. But the beautiful thing is you can have 10, 20, 50 different musicians working simultaneously. And if you're a very organized person, you can quickly see that the commissions that you get will more than make up for having you perform that particular work yourself. You simply become an agency and get commissions through your network of musicians or composers or anything else that you can. If you're good at understanding the market and good at finding opportunities that you would have found for yourself, but just multiply that several times and get your friends working, they get an income and you get a portion of their income. But as an agency, you can probably make a whole lot more money too. So anyway, that's a very, very quick look at passive income. It's something that I think more musicians should really consider to supplement their linear income. I'm not saying that people should stop playing, stop giving lessons, but there are new ways of teaching, there are new ways of performing, there are new ways of presenting that can supplement your current income as a musician. So if more musicians would take a moment to explore those options, I think you could find some really exciting opportunities to make a whole lot more money than simply hoping that you pass an audition or win that job or wish you had a raise on your paycheck. Yeah. So the goal is to have multiple streams of income working for you simultaneously while you're doing what you love. All right, so that's a very, very quick overview of the differences between linear and passive incomes. And ideally, these are things that can work together to supplement a far better income stream for musicians than simply doing it the traditional way. All right, if you'd like to learn more, I invite you to visit amusicallifemastermind.com.